Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everybody. And since we still in the Idul Fitri, allow me to express taqabbalallahu minna wa minkum minal aidin wal faidin, and mohon maaf lahir batin, ya. Thank you, and I'm sorry for being late because I just arrived from campus. Actually, we have several activity in campus, but the campus formally closed earlier 1 hour at 3 p.m. So yeah, a bit critical for me for start this course in time. So that's why I'm being late, and I'm so sorry. And we meet again in this class in probability and stochastic course. Yeah, I hope you all are in good conditions, and as well as your family. Okay. Actually, this week we arrive at the new topic. Actually, this is a continual topic from the last week we already discussed. Allow me to give you some share screen. Okay, no. Maybe I put here. Okay, it's better. Okay, so everybody can see my screen, I hope, yeah. The title is Test of Hypothesis. Test of Hypothesis. So, actually, what is the hypothesis? Hypothesis, in other words, is conjecture or assertion. Is kind of belief, yeah. Kind of information that we can believe, yeah. Actually, this hypothesis we can create based on the phenomena, yeah, from, for example, populations, for example, yeah. So actually, for example, we have, we know there is a population here, populations, and the population has a parameter, let's say mu and the variance, but actually we don't know exactly this parameter. We don't know exactly. So in this case, we make assumptions or like a conjecture, or formally definition like a hypothesis. Yeah, hypothesis. Okay. Let's move forward to the next slide. Actually, in the first content, we're going to talk about the statistical hypothesis, rule of probability in hypothesis, and the null and alternative hypothesis, and the testing hypothesis. Okay. Allow me to explain maybe 5 or 10 minutes actually talking about this topic. Yeah. Okay. We already know the hypothesis in general. And what is the statistical hypothesis? When we put statistical term in here before the hypothesis means that we create some assumption, we create some hypothesis that representing a statistical parameter. Let's say I have a hypothesis that the mean of the populations being some number X, or in more applicative area, for example, I have a hypothesis that the how to say, the average weight of male student, yeah, the average weight of male student is 68 kilograms. This is my hypothesis. Why we should say something like this? Yeah, that's because we want to know some parameter from population, and then we create the hypothesis. Okay, and then after we state the hypothesis, then we want to measure quality of hypothesis. Quality of hypothesis. How to measure the quality of the hypothesis? The quality based on the probability. Based on the probability, we can measure how good our hypothesis based on the number of probability. Actually, I hope you already connect to our previous topic. Is kind of how to measure the sample average will be, or quality of the sample average, something like that. So it is almost similar with the use of probability here. So that's why here we say, we can know that the rule of probability in hypothesis is to measure the quality of hypothesis. Okay, the quality hypothesis. And then the next, there are two types of hypothesis: null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis. For example, if we have a null hypothesis, null usually in mathematics we have null, 0. Yeah, so we can write H 0. In other words, we can say as a null hypothesis. Null hypothesis. And the alternative hypothesis, the alternative, we can say like alternative is just like this. And then we have a symbol being H1, yeah, H1, and then we can say, or we can create the alternative hypothesis. The alternative, for example, no, the alternative hypothesis, opposite of null hypothesis, yeah, opposite of this one. So we can state as that the mean average of our weight average of male student is greater than 68 kilogram. Greater than 68 kilograms. So in this case, we can easily see, or we can compare that null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis. It's different statement, different meaning. Yeah, first is exactly 68 kilograms, but for the alternative, another hypothesis is greater than 68 kilograms. Okay, and then we can formally maybe I will more how to say, more clear. Yeah, we can put here. Yeah, we can. So in this case, okay, so we can write here the alternative hypothesis. We can write thing like this, that the weight average of male student is greater than 68 kilograms. Okay. Okay. And then after that, after we state the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis, we want to test, we want to test hypothesis, whether we should accept the null hypothesis or otherwise we accept the alternative hypothesis. Okay. To test the hypothesis, usually, we should know the, what to say, we should know the probability, the probability of random variable. Actually, we should define the random variable first. Actually, what kind of the random variable? This is the average of weight, weight average of male student. Actually, it's taking from observation. For example, you should take as n sample. This is a number of sample. And then after that, you can define the standard deviations. Oh, no, I mean the variant of sample. Okay. First, before we testing, we should observe from the sample. We should define the number of sample, and then we make average of the sample, and then we should compute the variance of the sample. Okay. Okay. That's all. Any questions?
Sir.
Yes.
For the hypothesis, could we make more than just one alternative so that we have two alternative hypotheses? Or is it just one alternative?
Oh, you mean that is it possible to create maybe hypothesis 2, something like this?
Yes, the third hypothesis.
Yeah, it is possible. It is possible.
So it can be more than just one alternative.
Yeah, it can be more than one alternative, but it's depend on how to say, depend on the case. Yeah, depend on the case. Sometimes adding by more alternative hypothesis, sometimes it's more make complicated, but it's not improve the quality of hypothesis. Sometime, sometime. But as you asked to this problem, is it possible to increase the alternative hypothesis? Yes, it is possible.
Okay, sir. Thank
you. Okay, is there any questions? Okay, if no problem, I have a next slide here. Something like this. It is very simple, yeah, actually. We have a case. The order that you have to conduct is determine the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis from this case. Once you answer the question, you can put on the chat box.
Is the one that I understand is, I think, yeah, similar to what Hanif said, where like the H0, the null is like, it's still like the same. The effectiveness of the new vaccine is the same as the previous one. And then the alternative is the condition where the new vaccine is more superior, which then like probably more than 25% effective. And yeah, more than 5 people survive.
Okay.
After the 2-year period.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. I hope all of you have the same understanding like Hanif and RD. Yeah, it is very simple questions. Yeah, we can state for the null hypothesis being, yeah, if Hanif version, he say that the 5 people surpass 2 years. Yeah. And for the alternative, more than 5 people surpass 2 years. Okay. And for the RD version is the effectiveness, yeah, the effectiveness of the vaccine will be equal to 25%, which is equal to the old one, yeah, old one. And the alternative hypothesis that the probability of being surprised more than 2 years is greater than 25%. Yeah, both are correct here. Correct. So, is there any questions how to make a statement for the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis?
Sir, but if the vaccine after 2 years have less than 25%.
Have less than 25%.
Yes, I mean in the answer, my answer and Henry's answer state that the null hypothesis is 25% because it's the logical reason is because when we create new vaccine, it's whether it is like the how do you say it? Yeah, it is the same like the old one or it is better than the old one, right? But what if the new vaccine is worse than the old one?
And then how to state the hypothesis, something like that?
Yes.
Yeah, you can write being like this. For example, the probability being 25%, it is meaning that this is equal to the old one. And then if we have maybe inferior, inferior quality or less quality, that so we can say the probability below the 25%. Yeah, something like this.
But what if we don't know whether the new vaccine is inferior or superior than the old one? So could it be more than just two hypotheses like HO, H1, and H2 for P more than 25%? Is it like that?
Yeah, of course. We don't know. Actually, motivation of the creating the hypothesis because we don't know. And then we make some assumption like in bahasa ya kita nebak gitulah. Kita membuat sebuah tebakan. Tebakan pertama adalah probabilitasnya atau kesuksesannya sama dengan old vaccine. Kemudian yang kedua, kalau tidak sama berarti kemungkinan ini lebih buruk gitu. It's worsen than the old one. So we can state the alternative hypothesis is being like this, or being less than 20%. It depend on the ya tergantung dari tebakan kita aja, gitu aja.
So there's a chance that both hypotheses are failed.
Yes, of course.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, based on your fail, that's good. A good, good motivations to understand more about this hypothesis. So allow me to the next slide. Yeah. Right now, once you have, you already state the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis, and then you, you can define the possible error, something like that. Okay, so how the error happens, for example, we can write like this. For example, this is hypothesis, the null hypothesis is true. True, and this is hypothesis 0, null hypothesis is false. So in this case, this is accept hypothesis 0, and this is reject hypothesis 0. In other words, this one is equal to 1 true. True. In other words, this is 1. No. Accept, yeah. Accept, yeah. To say. is accept H1. So based on this metric or based on this table, so if null hypothesis true and then the testing is accepting null hypothesis and this is being correct decision, right? Correct decision. And reject null hypothesis from the fact that alternative hypothesis is true, so this is also correct decision. Correct decisions. Accept null hypothesis, but from the fact that alternative hypothesis is true, this is error. So our observation is not valid actually. Yeah, it's not correct. Not on my observation, but the hypothesis, yeah, that we state is maybe not correct. Okay, and this is also if we reject null hypothesis, but from the fact that null hypothesis is true, also we can say this is error. Allow me explain in bahasa. Jadi begini. Kita punya dua kondisi kan dari faktanya, dari apa namanya? Dari hipotesisnya. Kita punya dua hipotesis, null hipotesis sama alternatif hipotesis. Ya, pilihannya hanya dua. Kalau nggak menerima ini ya menolak ini gitu kan. Kalau menolak ini berarti kalau menolak null hipotesis artinya menerima hipotesis alternatif hipotesis. Okay? Ini dugaan kita ini yang atas ya. Null hipotesis benar dan null hipotesis salah. Kalau null hipotesis salah berarti yang benar adalah alternatif hipotesis yang benar. Sama aja ya, logikanya oke ya. Kemudian setelah kita membuat hipotesis, maka kita melakukan observasi, mengecek menggunakan sampel. Nah, sampelnya mengatakan kita menerima hipotesis null hipotesis. Maka kita keputusannya tepat. Tetapi berdasarkan sebaliknya, jika observasi mengatakan kita menerima HO padahal yang benar faktanya adalah menolak HO, maka ini disebut dengan error. Error ya. Begitu juga error terjadi apabila kita menolak HO padahal HO yang benar nih. Ini juga error. Kita menolak HO, memang HO yang salah, ya jadi benar gitu kira-kira. Nah, istilah kedua error ini, both error we have a different name. The first is type 1 error. This is type 2 error. Okay. Is there any questions from this table, from this metric?
Sir, I still don't understand the difference between accept and true.
Accept and true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, what's the difference? Like, how is it going in the application, in the real application?
Okay. Later we will how to say, take an example. But basically, basically this is how to say, for example, we have okay, we will jump to the some example. Wait a moment. From the case, we have a null hypothesis that the probability of effectiveness equal to 20%. And then for the alternative hypothesis, say that the effectiveness is greater than 20%. And then we want to how to say, we want to check based on the observations, yeah. So we conduct the observation. We conduct the observations as we know that the N is 20 people. This is the number of sample, and then the probability is over is 20%. And then we want to observe the type 1 of error. Type 1 of error define that accept null hypothesis given by hypothesis null false. In this case, accepting hypothesis means that we agree with the statement. Back to the matrix, for example, accept hypothesis null given the H null hypothesis true. True means that this is taken from this one. This one is true, yeah. Our statement, the true is hypothesis 1. Also, the second one also is true. Yeah. If we reject the null hypothesis, and then automatically we accept the alternative hypothesis. Jadi in bahasa ya, maksudnya menerima HO ini kita menerima berdasarkan hasil observasi. Jadi berdasarkan data yang kita sampel. Nah, berdasarkan data yang kita sampel itu mendukung HO, mendukung hipotesis ke 0. Tetapi faktanya padahal gitu ya, padahal secara populasi bukan H0 yang benar gitu kan. Bukan H0 yang benar, tapi justru yang benar adalah H1 yang benar. Nah, ini yang bisa menyebabkan error. Jadi ibaratnya rata-rata, misal kasusnya adalah berat badan ya, misalkan rata-rata berat badan mahasiswa laki-laki itu 68 kg. Ini H1-nya, H0-nya. Kemudian H1-nya itu berat badannya itu lebih besar dari 68 kg. Kemudian berdasarkan observasi diperoleh bahwa rata-rata ini mempunyai bernilai misalkan 68,5. 68,5 kan ini sangat dekat gitu ya. Sangat dekat terhadap 68. Nah, nilai 68 ini bisa dihitung probabilitasnya. Probabilitasnya berapa? Nah, kalau ternyata misalkan hasilnya adalah 68 ya, 68, kemudian kita menerima H0. Padahal yang benar populasinya seolah-olah begitu ya, kita mengasumsikan bahwa yang benar itu berat badan rata-ratanya itu di atas 68 gitu. Nah, ini yang kan berarti error kan? Berarti error. Sampai sini oke nggak, Hanif? Bisa dipahami nggak?
Masih belum, Sir.
Masih belum ya. Tadi pertanyaannya antara accept sama true ya?
Iya, kayak bedanya apa? Sir, ini maksudnya berarti yang X bar-nya ini berdasarkan dari pengamatan, sementara kalau seandainya error tuh berarti kayak aslinya tuh lebih dari 68 gitu. Maksudnya kayak di populasinya tuh berat rata itu bukan 68 kayak di atas 68, tapi hasil observasi kita tuh 68,5 gitu bukan, Sir, kalau error?
Iya. Kira-kira seperti itu.
Berarti kayak hipotesis sama hasil observasi kita salah begitu, baru dinyatakan error. Iya, kontradiktif. Berarti kalau yang accept itu dia berdasarkan dari berdasarkan dari observasi gitu bukan? Saya masih agak itu.
menerima atau menolak itu berdasarkan dari observasi, dari sampel.
Oh, berarti gini, misalkan kita hasil observasinya 68,5, berarti kita accept HO kan ya?
Iya.
Terus sementara misalkan seandainya HO-nya ini salah gitu, hasilnya itu bukan 68,5, berarti itu termasuk error?
Iya, termasuk error.
Oh, oke, sir. Paham,
Iya.
sir.
Oke, jadi ini dengan bahasa yang lain, ya mungkin ceritanya saya lengkapi dulu deh. Saya hapus di sini. Jadi ini ada populasi mahasiswa laki-laki. Ini mahasiswa laki-laki. Kemudian kita ingin tahu rata-rata berat badan mahasiswa laki-laki itu berapa sih, gitu kan? Berapa sih? Kan kita tidak tahu ya, kita tidak tahu. Kemudian kita nebak deh, kalau gitu. Kita nebak. Ya sudah, tebakan pertama apa? Tebakan pertama atau tebakan ke-0 itu saya yakin bahwa rata-ratanya adalah 68 kg. Kemudian saya nebak lagi deh. Tebakan kedua atau tebakan ke-1 ya, tebakan keduanya adalah rata-ratanya lebih besar dari 68 kg. Boleh kan seperti ini? Nah, alasannya gimana Pak? Kok bisa-bisanya bikinnya sama dengan 68 dan lebih besar dari 68? Ya itu berdasarkan case dalam artian mungkin saya ingin melihat yang lebih besar 68 sih berapa gitu kan. Kalau yang di bawah 68 oke lah, udah baik gitu misalkan. Yang nggak baik misalkan di atas 68 misalkan begitu. Maka saya concern-nya atau saya sama dengan 68 atau lebih besar dari 68. Oke, kalau gitu misal Pak, kalau misalkan ini saya lebih kecil sama dengan 68, boleh nggak? Boleh. Ya, boleh seperti ini. Tergantung kasusnya, jadi ya tergantung kasusnya. Oke, maka tebakan pertama kita sebut sebagai null hipotesis, tebakan kedua sebagai alternatif hipotesis. Oke, mudah-mudahan sampai sini oke ya. Nah, kemudian kan kita ingin ngecek nih. Maka kita melakukan observasi. Mengambil sampelnya berapa, kemudian mengambil rata-ratanya berapa, kemudian menghitung juga standar varians dari sampelnya berapa, oke. Kemudian kita, nah ini mendapatkan misalkan rata-ratanya itu 68,5 gitu ya. Atau mungkin yang lebih enak ya 68,1 deh. 68,1. Oh, kalau seperti ini sebelum kita hitung nilai probabilitasnya, kita bisa nebak duluan lah ya. Bisa nebak duluan, oh ini kan mendekati 68, nggak lebih besar dari 68 gitu kan. Atau kalau biar nggak bingung begini deh. Bukan 68 deh, bukan. Misalkan, how to say, sorry. Okay. For example, we have the average is 67,9 ya. 67,9. Dengan hasil ini kita bisa mengatakan bahwa wah, kalau berdasarkan hasil ini ya kita cenderung milih yang ini dong tebakan pertama kayaknya ini lebih meyakinkan berdasarkan datanya gitu. Berdasarkan datanya ya. Nah, oke. Kalau memang faktanya benar, faktanya ini memang ini yang benar misalkan. Memang faktanya benar, maka kita kan dapat jadi kita mendapatkan statement accept hipotesa null and null true kan, maka ininya jadi correct ya, correct decision, decisionnya benar, iya seperti itu. Nah kalau ternyata ya ini soal ini hanya Tuhan yang tahu misalkan ya, hanya Tuhan yang tahu itu gimana ya. Sebentar, ini kok nggak muncul sih misalnya. Oke, ternyata yang benar adalah ini, benar. Padahal yang benar adalah H1. Berarti kita sementara berdasarkan hasil observasi kita menerima H0. Artinya kan kita salah. Error. Gitu. Oke, itu ceritanya seperti itu. That's the whole story. So, everybody can understand about this?
So, sir, the true or false the H0 and H1 is based on the population.
Yes, the true populations.
Oh, okay, sir.
Is there any question, please? Understanding about the accept and true and relation something. Okay, I hope it is clear. So let's move forward a bit. So right now we already understand how to define the type 1 error and type 2 error. Okay, and then we want to, how to say it? We want to compute, yeah, for the case that the vaccine, the effectiveness is 25%, and the alternative hypothesis, the vaccine has greater than 25%, yeah. In this case, first, we want to compute the, how to say, the probability of error. Probability type 1 error. Where the definition of type 1 error, we accept H1 with the H0 but H1 true. Jadi kita menghitung errornya, kemungkinan errornya jika kita menerima 0, alternatif 0, padahal H1 yang benar. Oke. Nah, probability type 1 error ini akan sama dengan probabilitas ketika X lebih besar dari 8 saat P/4. X lebih besar dari 8, X lebih besar dari 8 dengan probabilitas 1/4. Sebagai informasi ya, for your information, it's type of binomial distributions. Why we consider as a binomial distribution? Because the case is similar to the binomial distribution. You can see here, for example, the total ASN is 20, yeah, and this is the random variable, and the probability is equal to 25, yeah, 25. So we can consider the occurrence, kan? The occurrence atau kejadian, ya, kejadian lebih besar dari 5 orang sukses, kan? Itu dikelompokkan sebagai binomial distribution. So in this case, since it's follow the binomial distribution, so we can write being like this: the X from 9 to 20. Why from 9 to 20? Because it is the X is greater than 8. In this case, is binomial distributions. It is a formal definitions of binomial distributions. So it is equal to 1 minus, this is the binomial distribution from 0 to 8, X 20, something like this. And you can check by calculator or by table, yeah. Actually, this is if we break down when the binomial distributions 0, 20, this is for the 1, 20, and so on and so on until 8. This is will be equal to, after we sum up together, we will have a 0.95 around here. So this is will be equal to 0, this is 91409. You can see here from this result it is equal to 4.09%. Yeah, it's very small for being error. Yeah, for being error is very small. So from this point, we can see that the probability of error being type 1 error is very small, yeah, for around 4%, yeah, 4.09%. So, is there any questions for computing this mathematical probability?
Sir,
Yes.
x more than 8? Why not x equal to 8? I mean, because when we accept the null hypothesis, it means that the sample that we observed has average, not average, has the result equal to 8, right? I mean equal to 5, but why is it x more than 8?
The x more than 8.
Yeah, because here the case is that we accept the H0, which means the null hypothesis is correct based on the observation.
So x 20% is x equal to 5 here. Yeah, good questions. Yeah, why is not greater than 5 here? Anyone can explain maybe another okay, the temporary answer, yeah, this will be my homework. Why we start from 8? That's the Hanif question. Why we start from 8? This is a temporary answer. Later, if I have another fine answer, I will tell you. So, 25%. So 25%, so it is equal to the 5 and 10 and then 15. And then 10, 5, and 15. So why we put 8 here? Why we start 8 from 8? Why we start from 8? Why we don't start from 5 exactly? Again, this is a temporary. So we have still like a tolerance, you know, a tolerance between 5 to 8. 5 to 8, yeah. 5 to 8 is kind of tolerance. Means that if we maybe find 6 people, so it can be classified as 8-0. And what if maybe, for example, it is possible, for example, we change here being 7? Yes, it is possible. It is possible. And then once we start from here, let's say not 7 lah ya, maybe 6 gitu ya, 6. So the tolerance is very small. So the tolerance is very small. Let's say 6. So we start from 7, and then this is until 6, 0 until 6. So it will be smaller, right? Decreasing, the probability of error decreasing. And once decreasing means that we tend to believe that the age 0, we accept the age 0 or null hypothesis. So that's my temporary answer, Hanif.
So it's for tolerance for the for the issue, so that it will not easily be accepted. Is it like that?
Ya, nilai toleransi ini biasanya ditentukan. Ya, biasanya kita mau memberikan toleransi berapa poin gitu kan. Sebagai contoh nih ya, sebagai contoh misalkan ya, hipotesa 0 rata-rata berat badan adalah 68 kg. Kemudian hipotesa 1 itu bukan 68. Nah, biasanya kita nggak persis di 68, tapi ada toleransinya. Toleransinya misalkan kurang 1, 67 sampai dengan 69. Ya, 67 sampai dengan 9. Misalkan di hasil observasi mengatakan 68,5 ya, 68,5. Oh, ini ya lebih mendukung hipotesa 0 gitu kira-kira. Karena lokasinya di sini masih dalam toleransi. Kenapa kita menentukan nilai toleransi? Nah, pertanyaannya berikutnya adalah karena probabilitas kan merupakan wilayah, merupakan luasan gitu loh. Merupakan luasan. Probabilitas itu luasan. Jadi untuk menentukan luasannya ini kita butuh sebuah toleransi. Kira-kira seperti itu. Ini akan works well. It will be works well if we talking about the continuous case. In this case, the binomial is discrete case. So it is not really clear why we why we should put a tolerance here. But if we're talking about the continual distributions, the tolerance will be significant. We can easily determine the meaning of tolerance here. Actually, to compute the area here, the probability. I hope it is can answer a bit. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, I think that's all for today. We can continue tomorrow. We're still talking about the hypothesis testing, and this topic will be many types of hypothesis testing. So please, I hope you can follow my explanations, because this will be fundamental theory for understanding the next case, something like that. Okay, that's all our class today, and thank you very much, and see you tomorrow. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.